What's up guys, BARRYGAMING here, back with some more Infinite Magic Raid, and today we're going to be going over a hero guide for Serena. Now, Serena is a hero that I got immediately on day one of launch. I've had a lot of experience with her so far. I've played around with a couple different builds, and I'm going to give you guys my recommendation how to build her. I've had the best success with her this way, so hopefully it helps you guys out as well. If you have not done so, hit that subscribe button and let's go in and talk about the one-hit wonder, one-shotting all the ways, Serena. Alright, so we're just gonna jump in here and look at our Serena, since we already have her pretty well maxed out. Not 100%, but man oh man, is she a strong hero. The best part about her is she's amazing at clearing out waves with her first attack if she is the fastest hero on the battlefield. So there's a couple stats you really want to focus on. Crit damage, attack, speed. Yeah, she's a damage dealer. So let's go over her skills first so you guys get a good understanding of it. Number one is her basic attack, Light Feather. Deals 220% attack damage to a single enemy, increases attack as it levels up, but most importantly, this ability is modified based on the number of feathers we have, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Same with Sacred Feather, her active skill here. It grants stealth to self and an ally for one turn, and grants a shield of 20% of Serena's max HP to both of them. So it provides stealth so they can't be targeted, and shield, which is really good. You can get 2 cooldown on that, which is very, very nice. It's absolutely amazing. Growth is her passive. This is the one where her feather stacks modify what her abilities do. So essentially, when an ally launches a direct attack, she will gain a layer of feather. If a feather reaches 6 layers, it will Sacred Feather evolves. If it reaches 12 layers, Flying Feathers evolve, and when it reaches 18 layers, Light Feather. So if in case you guys didn't know, Light Feather, Sacred Feather, Flying Feather. So the first one is the Sacred Feather, which is going to be this ability here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All her abilities will evolve, which we'll talk about here in a second, but of course you have to get the 6, 12, 18 layers, and yeah, it basically consumes fewer layers to evolve it, which is pretty cool. Lastly is her active ability, Flying Feathers. This thing hits like a truck and is a really cool hybrid single target slash AoE damage ability, because it deals 2 stages of damage to all enemies. The fewer the number of enemies, the higher the damage that will be dealt. So if there's only one enemy, it all hits that one enemy. Each stage deals 150% attack damage at the very least and 300 at the most. You can lower its cooldown, and then there are some exclusives that modify these skills. Now, you can click this switch skill button for any hero that has an ability that is modified in game, and these turn into Shin Light Feather. So this one was a single target damage ability. Once you get to, I believe, what's Light Feather? Yeah, 18 layers. This does damage to all enemies, not just a single target. It does your basic attack damage to all. So the longer the fight Serena is in, the stronger she gets. The second one here is basically increasing the shield strength that you're giving your ally. And then lastly, over here, Flying Feathers, it basically just changes the way the damage works. It hits the 3rd time instead of just 2 times, so that's a 50% damage increase essentially just for doing that. So that is pretty sweet. Now, speaking of those abilities, we need to talk about the exclusives, because these are very game-changing for Serena. At level 1, she gains 1 more action every time she evolves. So when she gets to 6 layers, she gets an extra action. When she gets to 12 layers, she gets another action, and when she gets to 18 layers, she gets an additional action. Doesn't sound like a lot if you're just using 2 attacks, but it's really cool because you can do like your main active ability, and then you can stealth yourself afterwards. Whereas if you stealth and then attack, you're going to be in a little bit of a bad situation. Level 2 Light Feather is amazing because the feathers will remain for the rest of the battle. Typically, when you go through the 3-stage battles, after the first wave is done, all your buffs, debuffs reset. That includes these feathers right here, which is why exclusive level 2, very big deal. Now, number 3 is probably one of the biggest ones, and I have not been able to get there just yet, but each layer of feather increases the damage of Flying Feathers by 2%. So this stacks up to 20 for a total of 40% increased damage. Yeah, this is a very, very big hit and huge amounts of damage. Just ignore that. I have auto battle in the background. A huge amount of damage added to this hero, and then of course she gets more speed, more stats, all that fun stuff. If only I had some more Phantom Eyes right now. So those are pretty cool. You can always switch to see the different ones here. As far as emblem goes, I went heavily into attack on her because she has her own shielding. She seems to be very tanky. I went for a very much crit damage but attack build. Typically what I try to do on my heroes is I try to get to around 50-ish% crit chance and then move over to crit damage and attack. I feel like anything over 50% feels like a little bit of a waste, because if you're already critting, and you kind of have to feel how it feels in combat as well. Me personally, 50% is the sweet spot that I'm going for. If you do differently, let me know. You can always do the crit enhancement as well. I went for attack and I went for the crit damage down here. Mastery is not really going to do much for her. You can take a look over here. What we got some things that help restore HP, some defense, all that fun stuff. In retrospect, I probably would have gone for more support nodes, so don't follow the defense tree personally. I think I would do more in the support just because I really like some of them, like cleansing, debuffs, and speed and hit effects, all that fun stuff. So that's that. Her aura, we went with the Combat Vanguard aura. Of course, this one is going to be one that you can't really build for quite a while unless you are a spender. Typically, though, what I like going for is this one right here. Is when she kills a target, she gets percent of her max HP back. It is very, very strong with her because she's killing tons and tons of targets. The other one is, of course, increasing basic attacks, crit rate, which is pretty cool with the pristine one as well. Now, equipment is where you can build some of your flexibility in, but like the last video I did for Holder, I really like the wild set. The crit rate puts me up over that 50% that I'm looking for, and then giving me additional attack. The other thing you can always run as well is probably something like the crit damage set here, the Slay set, which is again good. You're gonna lower your crit rate some, because you're only getting 10% versus, of course, what is it, 15%, right? Yeah, 15%, but you're gaining 15% crit damage. So the trade-off is kind of between attack and everything. I have not really ever needed any type of leech set. That's me personally. If you like running leech or something, then that's cool, but I usually have the supports to support her. Plus, she has shielding in her ability as well, which is pretty solid. But what we need to do next is go into combat and show you this hero, because there's a big issue with running her on auto. Okay, so let's just jump into a battle real quick. You know what we can do? We can jump into... we can do a Dwarven Ruins since we're already doing this for our weekly. Let's just jump in over here, put our actual main team in. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start it on auto, and I'm going to show you something that's really, really annoying. The first round, of course, she's going to do amazing, and that's why I call her the one-hit wonder, because she'll just use her active and then like almost one-shot the entire wave, depending on the difficulty of it. She's amazing for the puzzles and all that. But yeah, you're gonna notice something here in round 2. I'm gonna slow it down. Actually, it's probably gonna wait until the next battle, now that I say that, because it is smart enough to not use the shield immediately. So watch this right here. Immediately round 2, she's going to use her shield ability, but the issue is she targets only herself, which, well, that's really stupid, because you're supposed to be able to also target an ally. Auto battle does not ever, anytime whatsoever, feels like give the shield to the ally. So what I'll show you is how it's supposed to perform is potentially right here. Let's see, we might have to do a couple things real quick. All right, so right here, the second ability, Shin Sacred Feather. So she's already at 16. So this is supposed to be a shield where you can click this and then you click on an ally. So you give it to the lowest one. You notice now your ally is also stealth. Yeah, it doesn't do that by default, and that is super annoying. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know how you are playing with your Serena. She is a legend hero, so it's going to be a little bit harder to come by. But as we build up more of these heroes, I'm going to take some time and highlight them for you and show you what has worked for me. Is it the best build necessarily? It's hard to say because so much comes down to your team compositions, but hopefully you guys enjoy this one. See you guys next time.